So what you just saw isn't a war-torn country. It's Paris yesterday. And the reason they're going mad, and they've been doing this for the whole week at least, burning and rioting, estimated 1.2 million people on the streets, is because of the pension reform. They've raised the pension age from 62 to 64, which I know for everyone else is a joke, considering it's much higher everywhere else. But for the lazy French, it is high. Now we'll explain why they did things like this. As you can see, it's an art. Writing is an art in France. They've, got it down to the core. And Parliament didn't want to pass it, but their democracy in France allows the president to push through any legislation he wants. So he doesn't have a majority. His party was never even a majority. And the majority of the Parliament didn't even want it to go through, but he pushed it through anyway. So it's a farce, like most countries, there's always a loophole to get anything through. That's what people have to realize. Democracy, it's a name only. So he pushed it through, and there's a reason he had to push it through. And well, you can see it caused a lot of disruption in France. The reason they've gone crazy is because France is an aging population, like all of the Western world. People are getting older, and there's not enough young people. They have a below replacement rate. Actually, France is one of the best countries in the Western world, but it's still a replacement rate, meaning births per woman is below the 2.1 replacement rate needed to just keep your population stable. So they don't have enough young people putting into the system to pay for the older people retiring. Everywhere in the world it's like that. Now, in the UK, they were about to do the same, by the way. It was meant to be raised from 66 to 67. But why did they stop it? It was about to happen now as well, same time. And the reason they stopped it is people are dying now. Amazingly, incredibly, since the pandemic. Would you believe it? Not because of the pandemic, since the pandemic, right? Put it in your mind, not because of. You can look at from 2020 to 2022, all Western countries have had an excess death rate off the scale. Excess death meaning more deaths than the average last 5 years. And 5 years will be 2019 before, so 2014 to 2019. All countries. The lowest being Sweden, and you can guess why, because obviously they didn't implement any crazy policies that delayed cancer screenings, that prevented people with heart problems coming in, that delayed surgeries because, got to save the health system, right? And so basically they wanted the killing to happen, right? That's basically it. But then since then, okay, so you've restored that. What's been happening? Well, we all know what medical treatment they forced 75% of the population to take. And so therefore, excess deaths is going through the roof. Even in Sweden, it's up, but the lowest in the Western world. It's only up 5% there. Everywhere else, it's about 16% in the UK. It's crazy amounts. Again, you'd be like, well, surely I would have heard this on the TV. No, they're covering it up. Now, the Treasury basically knows because they see, oh, great. Average age of death is going down, which is great for us. It means we don't have to raise the pension age. So in the US, for instance, it's gone from 78 before the pandemic to 76, which is, I think it's like the third world average life expectancy. Now, that is also because of the great thing that they've done in America, which is opioid crisis. So that kills a lot of young people. 100,000 Americans under the age of 40 die a year from opioid overdoses, which is amazing for them. It's their dream, right? So they're now doing it under the cover or different ways. It's their dream. It's perfect. And in the Western world, which other than America doesn't have the opioid issues, slowly the killings are there, guys. Midrazapol being another one, rather than giving people morphine, the older people in old age homes, which shows up and it'll be on medical records. They give midrazapol, which is basically morphine but in a different form, so you wouldn't be like aware of it and shocked by it. And this is how they're doing it, because we need to increase the amount of deaths, because we cannot sustain the population with the amount of older people we have. And so this is the only way they're going to do it. And so France is burning now, but everywhere will also burn.